Hello out there, love bugs! We're back on the floor today with a cozy blanket during Mercury Retrograde. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, thank you. In today's video, we're going to be uncut and we're going to pull the winner of the Mercury Retrograde reading. We're going to do a little Mercury Retrograde check-in and I'm going to answer one or more astrology questions. So, let's jump in, let's pick the winner. Oh my gosh, first of all, thank you to everyone who entered this. Oh my gosh, it made me so happy to see all the comments rolling in saying I want to win, because I've been visualizing doing this for a long time. And I think that I'm gonna pick a winner today, and then I think I'm gonna keep your names, maybe for another future drawing, maybe for another holiday. I love Halloween. Do you guys love Halloween? Maybe we could do a spooky reading. I don't know, but somehow, some way, I just want to keep on keeping on with the giveaways. It just feels so good. It feels so right. Okay, so I'm gonna close my eyes and I'm gonna pick one of you as the winner. You will win a free Mercury Retrograde chart interpretation. Who's it? Oh my gosh. We have Tina. Okay, Tina Ward. Okay, Tina, if you see this and you know who you are, please send me an email at mayasbrightstarcreations@gmail.com with your birth details and we'll get you a Mercury Retrograde reading delivered this weekend. And to everyone else who entered, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And somehow, some way, we'll have more winners in the future. Now, I wanted to just have a little Mercury Retrograde check-in. We're on day 2 right now. If you're watching this in real time, I have continuously reminded myself, slow down. I'm an Aries myself. And so I'm very good at starting things. Like, I'm very good at the beginning of things. So yesterday was day 1 of Mercury Retrograde. I did nice and slow and steady. I did less, a lot less. As a matter of fact, I just totally removed more than half of what I do in my typical daily routine. I just said, yeah, this isn't really necessary. We just won't. And that was actually really super duper harmonious. But then today came on and I'm in a double peak period in zodiacal releasing, and I kind of started to feel myself trying to do things at a regular pace. And I started to notice just the little glimmers of like being out of flow with time. So just slow down. It really is true. I said it in the other video, but twice the time is about right. Giving yourself twice the time for everything. That's about right. I have a store just nearby that I run to often, and I've timed it. It's 22 minutes just to go get a quick something and come back home normally. I went today, it was more than 45. Just the exact same thing as always, just the exact same thing as a few days ago. It was probably about 55 minutes. But when there started to be problems, there was no carts, for example. Where were the carts? That's a great question. I don't know. But there wasn't any. Yeah, like when the people just started having problems and the lines were really long, it was, I anticipated that. So that was my other advice, is anticipate delays. But you know what's funny is, like, I give this advice to you all, but this is the same advice that I follow too. So I mean, it's, I'm always reminding myself too. And I'm always sharing with you the insight that I'm learning, I'm always learning, whether psychically. I learn a lot from readings because people ask insightful questions, and then, sorry about the construction noise, and then I hear the answers from the guides, and it's like, whoa, like sometimes it's like an awakening for the clients, and it's like also an awakening for me. And like a lot of the information I share with you about the spirit world, fate, fortune, free will, astrology even, it comes from the spirit world. You know what I mean? It's and I know that it's accurate because I test it in my life. and it helps me and stuff like that. But anyway, not even sure why I'm telling you guys that, but it's a journey. But yeah, keep taking things slow and steady with Mercury retrograde. And I think one of the best manifestations of Mercury retrograde really is like these little bits of the past that we've forgotten about, or just have things that once were breakthroughs in our understanding, but then we just moved on to other things or whatever, they're brought back to us again. So that happened to me last night. And it related to my own journey with health and things like that. And, you know, it was something that I'd started studying, pretty complex, definitely complex neuroanatomy kind of stuff. And I found this video that I'd only listened to, I think I was overwhelmed at the time with learning, and I was like, it was a lecture of like an hour and 40 minutes, and I was like, I had watched 15, and I watched the remainder of it last night, and I had so many breakthroughs and understanding. It was amazing. So anyway, I'm wishing for all of you experiences like that, where you can continue on maybe from the last time Mercury was in Virgo in a positive way, that's life affirming, and that moves you forward in some real significant way, wherever Virgo is in your chart. And then later on in the retrograde, we'll be going back into Leo. But right now, Mercury's in pretty good standing. It's with Venus. So in terms of a Mercury retrograde, like the best type of Mercury retrograde energy you're gonna get, we more or less have that right now, because we have Mercury in a conjunction with Venus, and the moon is in the same sign right now. So that's pretty good. But I would like to answer an astrology question. I definitely have something to say about this one. So 2 of you commented on this week, and the first comment says, I have my North Node conjunct the moon in Virgo. How do you activate the North Node if it is in the first house? Isn't the first house just representative of the body? It is sort of a confusing placement. The first house doesn't seem terribly interesting. Oh my gosh. The first house is the most interesting house in the chart in many ways, because the first house is the physical body, which obviously, as we know, that is interesting, okay? In the sense, I mean, doctors study for decades to prepare just to specialize in one organ of one part of the body. But it's so much more than the body. But I just don't want to discount the body itself, because you could spend your whole life with the first house North Node, especially now in these times, making your body what it can be, or learning about the scientific understanding of the body and the spiritual understanding of the body and the chakras, and, you know, getting your health in quite good order. Like with first house North Node, the physique matters. How you present yourself matters. That's the place of the ascendant. Feeling good about how you look, out of any of the places where you have your North Node in the chart, the first house North Node, that you're actually here for that. You have a tendency in prior lives to have put an overemphasis on other people and defining yourself based on the status of your relationship, your friendships, and the other people in your life. There's an over focus on others. And so someone had put like a follow-up comment that basically said some famous people who have this North Node are married. So you can be married. Like, yeah, we can all achieve something, like where our South Node is. And it's very dependent, like how much we achieve, you know, kind of the full configuration of the chart. But the South Node isn't totally off limits if we're also embracing the North Node. So like an example of these people, right? Like Meghan Merkel and Kamala Harris. Well, yeah, okay, Kamala Harris, maybe, look at, she might be president. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's developed strong leadership. Meghan Merkel may be married, but maybe she isn't. Actually, you guys, I'm gonna be honest, I don't follow news or popular culture, but she's known for herself. So like, having a strong identity, having a name that's known, not because of who you're married to, not because of who your best friend is, not because of others, but because of you. This is my South Node, by the way. That is North Node in the first house. Make a name for yourself. Build a body you love. Have a haircut you love. Present yourself in the world. Like, instead of having a bunch of pictures on social media of you with others, put yourself out there. So it sounds silly, but the self, like the reason I say it's a rich place in the chart, the first house North Node, is because it's you. The first house is you. This is the journey of self-discovery, especially with Virgo, because this person has Virgo ascendant. If you have a first house North Node, your karmic lot, if you will, is to perfect the self. And that includes the physical body, truly, like this. So that is a part of it. And that means eating very well. That means staying on top of doctor's appointments. That means, you know, taking care of your appearance, the way you dress yourself, the haircut, the full, like sometimes we think, you know, souls don't come to earth for this reason. And that actually isn't true. There's many reasons to come to earth. And so sometimes, maybe we've had lifetimes, like if it's Pisces South Node, where we, you know, transcended the body and spent the whole lifetime meditating. And now maybe to have a lifetime that's very centered on the care of the physical body. I do apologize for the construction sound, you guys. But I am filming during Mercury Retrograde, so realistic expectations. It's either this or we could have nothing. Like we could have no videos, which is what I normally do during the retrograde. But anyway, so what I would recommend for first house North Node is perfect the physical body, be willing to do things alone, take the focus off of your partner, and start asserting what you want. If you're in a relationship, put your goals, your priorities first, become a leader of something. Step forth in some kind of leadership role or become the best at something that you do, where people sort of know your name and they're like, aha, he or she, they're the one that is the expert at this. Like first house North Node. But I also recommend for first house North Node really studying yourself. Like this is a type of person where what is the quiz that Jordan Peterson put out? I took that, I was so curious. About a year ago I took it and it was accurate. I actually did the relationship compatibility part too and it was accurate. So just like things like that, that one, it comes to mind just because I know it's scientifically based on research, based on personality. But like that one or Myers-Briggs, study your astrology, study your numerology, study your human design, learn about you. You can spend a whole lifetime learning about you and becoming your best self and becoming the you that you want to be. And even asking, who do I want to be? Not who do I want to be with, but who do I want to be? If I am being my best self, who is that best self? If I am presenting myself, this is like, like I said, this is my South Node, and so my conditioning early in life was around this. And there's so many things that I was taught, but something I was taught like over and over again when I was young was the elevator pitch. So like I received all kinds of training on how to describe what I do and what I'm passionate about, how to put myself out there, my ideas out there, and be recognized and garner attention. And that's like very first house North Node. I was also a gymnast from a young age. That is like sports, I think in general are good for first house North Node, but especially independent sports like golf or like gymnastics or games like chess or like things like that where you can win and you can do it on your own. But the gymnastics, I mean, that I don't know that it's even healthy for everyone, but like the gymnastics or dance or things like that, they're very body focused and you have to be very aware of your posture, the presentation of your body. And that is actually healthy. Like that sort of body awareness is healthy for someone with a first, especially in Virgo, first house. And that's my South Node, is Virgo in the first house. And that's the position of this person, to my understanding. So the first house is the physical body, but it's much more than that. It's the self, it's the identity. It is, after all, the first house. It's number one. It's an angular house. It represents the discovery of the self. It is the self. It is the essence of existence, you know. The first house is what makes life, you know. So the 12th house is very much the spirit, you know. We don't, that it is a part of us, and yet it doesn't allow existence truly in the physical world. The first house is our existence. It's everything that is who you are in this lifetime on earth. And it can be a whole lifetime of discovering what that is. And the karmic responsibility with first house North Node is discover what that is. Who are you? Who are you through the lens of astrology? What are your gifts? What are your talents? What are your IQs? What are your goals? What are your hopes? What are your dreams? Where are you going to lead? What are you going to do? What are you going to be known for? First house North Node. To step up and say, this is what I want. This is what I believe in. Does that make sense? So it's more like, I think sometimes with the nodes, it's not always like you have, like it does help to spend time like on topics related to the node. So like with first house, spend time alone. Spend time at the gym. Take photos of yourself regularly. You know, update your social media, update your LinkedIn, stuff like that. Like go to the salon regularly, get haircuts, learn what kind of skin tone you have, learn what looks best on you, what are your colors, you know, invest in jewelry, especially around the face, like spend time on those types of things. That does matter, but a lot of it is mindset. So like it's rather than seeing the world through a lens of relationships, learning to see the world as a collection of individuals, of selves, each of which are valid. Kind of seeing the individual identities and the individual journey and focusing a little bit more on your individual journey. I don't know if that makes sense. It's kind of hard to describe it, but it's like a framework. And I think that's true with like all the North Nodes. So we're shifting from seeing through the perspective of the South Node to seeing through the perspective of the North Node, or at least shifting back and forth. And that can be really beneficial. But I think first house, you know, cultivating an independence. So you can be in a relationship and you can be codependent with your partner, and a lot of people are, or you can be interdependent. Two individuals who are fully independent, who are choosing to interact together and supporting one another in achieving their individual and separate dreams. And if you have North Node in the first house, you're aiming for interdependence rather than the intermingling of codependent types of interactions or something else. Let me see if I answered the question. I worry that having the South Node in the 7th house means I won't find a long-term partner. I would recommend really focusing on, this isn't the advice for everyone across the board with dating, by the way. I really want to make content on dating, but it seems kind of random because no one's asking for it. But for someone with like North Node in the 1st house, definitely like becoming your best self first is key. Learning about who you are is key. Building your best body, you're becoming healthy, mind, body, spirit, knowing who you are, and you will attract to yourself the correct partner. So it is not appropriate to put the majority of your time and investment into looking for the partner in hopes that that's gonna make you great, right? Like make yourself great and from that place of greatness, you draw the partner to you, if that makes sense. Yeah. This person said, I think it's more about leveraging your south node in order to get you toward the north node successfully. That's an interesting perspective. I think it depends. It varies for each person. We have massive strength in the area of the south node. There's no doubt about that. I think the best thing we can do with our south node, just trying to pretend that isn't happening, like, is give it away. Because like we have mastery over the south node. So wherever your south node is, like, give it away. So like I have a few great people in my life who have south node in the second house. Like they've learned a lot about money, finances, investment, the material world. Like rather than just trying to accumulate a bunch of wealth themselves, like the best thing they could do is maybe teach about that, or share investment strategies with others, or share their resources with others. Like maybe they have a bunch of really nice material objects that they got a chance to use earlier in their life. They don't need them anymore. Like pass them on. So I think like that's one of the best things that we can do. So it could be like good karma for a first house north node person to like counsel other people on their relationships. For example, I think giving the south node away is a good idea. Like, and I think it's just hard because it's almost like the south node, it depends on your age of life, but it can be kind of like addictive. Like it just like feels so good. It's like, it feels so natural to like be in that area of life. It's really easy to overdo it and then lose perspective on the north node. And generally the south node does diminish over time. It does depend because some people have like planets conjunct the south node and stuff like that, and that can change the trajectory. But often we face karmic closings of the south node. So like an example for me, earlier in my life, so I have Virgo south node in the first house. So my south node is in the first house, which is like the face, the physical body. Earlier in my life, I actually did like, not in a serious way, but I did do some modeling and things like that, and I have professional photographers in the family and things like that, and I won some contests. It sounds weird to say this, but because it's like so far distant from reality now. But like, I was involved. A lot of pictures of me were taken, a lot of video. I had a job as a model for the university I went to and stuff like that. Oh my gosh. Anyway, but all this just to say, like now, due to my allergic condition, I actually cannot breathe outside air at all without wearing multiple layers of KN95 masks. So like that is, I feel like, such a literal manifestation. Like at one point in time, my face was definitely known. I was on a ton of posters and stuff like that. Like at my university, I gave tons of speeches. People knew my name. They knew who I was. My face was recognized. And now, like, there's people I see every day who have never seen my face. Because I don't know if you can even tell, but actually I have like actual tan lines from like the KN95 masks like on my face. So like my face is like completely covered now. I can't show my face. I'm allergic to like all conditioner. I used to like curl my hair every single day in ringlets and use hairspray, but I'm like allergic to all of that, even my own shampoo. So like I can't even like wear my hair down anymore or like have a look or anything like that. I'm allergic to latex, which is like in a lot of bras and stuff like that. So even I have to be very basic even in what I wear. So it's not to complain, but it's just to say like, it's actually impossible for me now to like focus on that first house stuff primarily. And I believe that's the soul's plan. So like often we achieve something great in the area of the south node early in life. But then as time goes on, conditions are no longer supportive for that. But something we can do is take everything we learned and take all the mastery of the area of our south node and give it to other people. because we have true gifts, talents, abilities, and mastery in that area. And then shift our focus to the area of the North Node. So like for me, that's like the 7th house. So like I spend a lot of time, you know, like as a psychic, as a coach, but also as a friend, a family member, like supporting others in being strong, being independent, putting themselves out there, succeeding towards their goals, developing their personal leadership, feeling confident in who they are. So I'm giving away my South Node over and over again. Everything I learned about how to succeed as an individual, I'm giving that away every day. I'm giving that away, giving that away, giving that away, giving that away, giving that away. And so, like, not to say that's the only option, but just to say, I often find if people are trying to achieve the South Node for their own like benefit, or it's like mainly focused on themselves, typically it's like a black hole. Like you can invest like tons of work, you really don't, after a certain age, like especially in your 30s, 40s, 50s, you don't really get anywhere. But if you give it away, like you give away the themes of the South Node as wisdom, support, assistance, or even actual resources to others, then it feels like really, really good, and it helps naturally like shift the focus towards your North Node and helps to align the life. So that's just something that I noticed. But yeah, 1st house is rich. Discover who you are. That's a lifelong pursuit. Mind, body, soul. Who are you? Who are you apart from others? That's the 1st house. I mean, that's it. And become the very best you that you can be. And with Virgo, it's the purification of the self in some way. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for watching. You guys are amazing. I love you guys so much. Thanks for watching. Congratulations to Tina. I lost the paper. Oh no, here it is. Okay. Congratulations, Tina. I look forward to your reading. Thank you all.